It is the last day of the year and I am in this like cleaning mood, you know, getting ready for the new year, and I really want to get rid of some books. I have so many and I am running out of places to store them, but at the same time I'm also building a bookcase. So today we're gonna go through all the books in my apartment and figure out the ones that I'm going to give away. Fun fact, I learned the other day that libraries actually don't put the books that you give them on display. Like, so if you do donate a book to the library, they typically like don't even put it in the rotation. So instead I'm going to give it to a little free library in my neighborhood. Let's go through my library as it is right now. This is what I call my fun bookcase because it has all the really bright and pretty titles, and a lot of these books are books that I really enjoy. So I put my best books up here. I think the only one I'm gonna take out is gonna be this one. And then I'm also gonna grab this one. We're gonna get rid of that one. I am in my closet. I have a bag of books that I've been keeping in here that I know I do not want. So I'm gonna take them back out and I'm just gonna go through some of these books because these I know I'm not gonna, oh yeah, I totally forgot I even had these books. Okay, we're gonna put these downstairs too. All right, I did just start my dishwasher, so sorry for the noise, but I have another little bookcase that is under my TV, so we're gonna go through those books now too. As you can see, I love plants, but there are just stacks and stacks of books here, so I'm gonna go through these now too. Okay, so a lot of these are gonna be books that I either didn't like, or I know I'm never gonna touch again, or I know I could maybe do like a giveaway, because some of these books actually are Black owned, and I do want to give away more Black owned books so people know or become more familiar with those titles. Oh, I forgot I even had some of these. Okay, yeah, I'm definitely gonna get rid of this one. That is all from this bookshelf, and then there's one more place where I am storing books right now. I also store my TBR books down here, so I'm gonna go through these too. Let's just pull these books out. So I decided I'm gonna do a little giveaway for all the Black owned books that I am unhauling, so make sure you follow me on Instagram to see that. But let's get into all of the books that I'm giving away. So in total, there are 16 books that I will be unhauling for the start of 2024. I'm gonna go through these quickly. Most of them are books that were either sent to me through a publisher or books that came to me in a weird roundabout way and I wasn't really interested in, so let's just go through it. First one is Weathering the Extraordinary Stress or Ordinary Life in an Unjust Society. This one was just really heavy. I actually didn't even read it, but I read the back. It's basically about public health of marginalized people and how it's been impacted based on our society's conditions, aka racism, sexism, ableism, homophobia, all those things. It was interesting when I said yes, and then I saw it, and honestly the cover kind of threw me off. Like, I'm just very uninterested by the cover. I didn't read this at all, and I don't plan on doing so. This next book was also sent to me by a publisher. Oh, it even has a little flyer in here. This is Murder in the Family. This one was a new release in 2023, and it is about a detective who was looking into the murder in his own family. The plot of the book sounds very interesting. However, the way it is written, it's written like a TV script, and I did not like it. I think I read 10 pages of this before I put it down. It just was not my cup of tea at all. The next book is When Crack Was King. This is another like heavy book about society and the Black community, and again, I thought the premise of the book was really interesting when I accepted it from the publisher, but it just wasn't for me. This was released July 11th, and it's just very heavy. I was in a happy reading era this year, so I decided to not even touch this. So this is also going to be going in a little library. Keep You Safe. This is a book that I got for free, I think. I ran into a library that was doing like a giveaway. This is about a widowed nurse who's also a mom who is just trying to find her way in life, and coming of age type stories or just like fictional novels that just follow characters around isn't really my thing. Like, I want there to be a strong plot where something happens, and this is just like them going through life. So it wasn't going to be for me. Like, I tried this and I was just like, no thank you. Let's see what else here. This is Not the Life I Ordered. Another publisher sent this book to me. This book was actually pretty good. So I did read it. It's more of an anthology, but it's written by 4 different women. They just tell different stories throughout their life. This one was actually interesting because they talk about going through marriage, going through divorce, going through deaths in the family. Like one of them's child passes away. Like there's just a lot of like life stories in this, and I did think it was really valuable. It also talks about like starting over your life again and just like starting anew. I did think it was really interesting, but I think I got everything that I needed to get from this book, so I'm gonna give it away. Next is a book that someone recommended on TikTok, I believe, and it was really small, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna buy it. It's The Game of Life and How to Play It. This is a spirituality book, and I thought this was incredibly boring. I just did not like it at all. As short as it wasn't for me. It talks about how to transform your life through thought, and I've read books like this, like with the same concept. However, this one was just written in a very dry and just boring way. Like it did not stick out to me at all. So I would not recommend this one, even though it was like a quick read. Like it's not a book to really start your spirituality journey or like for beginners, so I wouldn't recommend. The next book is The Maid. This one was super popular this year. I saw it everywhere, and I read like halfway. No, I didn't read halfway. Oh, I only got the 50 pages. This one was super dry. Like the main character does not have any type of like crazy reactions or thoughts. Like she's just very like serene, stoic. The premise is that she is a maid at a hotel, and a room that she was the last one seen in, so she had just cleaned this room, and right after she leaves, one of the guests at the hotel is found dead in the room. Again, she's just like a very stoic character. She doesn't have too much personality or character traits or anything. This one was just like really dull, so maybe I just didn't get to the interesting part, but it didn't captivate me within 50 pages. And I normally give a book 100 pages, but this one was just, it wasn't great for me. So the next 3 books I'm going to talk about on one, because I got them with blind dates from a book, so you can just check out that review and how much I did not like these books. I've also talked about them before in my worst book review. The worst books of 2023, these were a part of it. This one is a romance. It's very similar, like painstakingly similar to 50 Shades of Grey. It like literally the plot is almost the same. Like this is like basically a carbon copy. I just wasn't into it. It wasn't for me. This one is actually a movie, but it's just a very introspective novel, and it's about a girl who goes with an abusive family with her dad primarily, and she goes to the correctional facility. But this book was also very dull, and Stargazer similar but different. So it's about 2 girls who are best friends, and one girl grows up to be really popular and borderline famous, and the other girl is not. And it's really a story about jealous friends. I didn't finish this one either. I think I got to page 50 in this one because it just did not captivate me. Like it didn't capture my attention at all. These are gonna go. I also added these 2 books. This is the Osawa Murders, and this one is The Engagement Party. So this one was a new release this year. I think it came out December 1st. It's a mystery about a woman who is getting engaged, and she decides to throw a engagement party at a random house on a remote island in Maine, I believe, for her fiance and her fiance's friends from college. The reason why she wants to throw this engagement party is because she wants to figure out what happened to their friend that was killed years ago, and her murder was not solved. So that's what this is about. It's just way too many POVs. There's 6 main characters, too many characters, way too many characters, too many sidebars. There's just a lot of characters, a lot of things to keep up with. I just was not a fan of this one. And then also the Osawa Murders I talked about before. You could just go watch those videos. This one was not interesting to me. It's basically about a mass murder that happens in Japan long ago, where 17 people are killed via poisoning. One girl who grew up in the town where the murders took place grows up and writes a book about the Osawa murders. However, her book doesn't actually give away what happens because no one still knows and the murders are unsolved. And then years later, a new detective comes along and wants to figure out what happened, and he reads her book and interviews everyone all over again trying to figure out what happened. The way the story was told was just not captivating. It was honestly kind of confusing. I didn't like the different tense changes. I just was not a fan of this. It wasn't, I did read the entire thing, but I wasn't a fan of this one. And then for the black owned books, there are 4 black owned books I'm going to be giving away in a future giveaway. I have only read 2 of these. Everything Is Not Enough was a new release. This was sent to me by a publisher, so this is the proof of it, so it's not like the official corrected novel, but this is actually 3 stories in one, and I am not a huge fan of multiple stories being told in the same book. It just is too much for me to follow. I want something where I can follow both people, but each story is its own romance. So there are 3 women, black women that live in Sweden, I believe. Each of them has problems with their partner, and the book is about the 3 of them navigating those problems and also becoming friends. I read to page 40, so that's how far I got up to in this one. I did hear good things about this, so if you are into like multiple storylines in one, and this actually is a really good book for you, it's just not my cup of tea, so it will be on a giveaway. Next is The Joy Strategist by Grace Harry. I just don't think this book was written for me. This book is about finding joy and finding happiness in all the small moments. It has journal prompts throughout. It also has questions that you can answer and like different tools that you can use, but I don't think it really catered to me. I think it caters to probably an older audience. It's because she talks about like other life things like having kids and like having multiple marriages and getting a divorce and things like that, and it just didn't cater to me at all. There's a little blip about spirituality in here and manifestation, and I thought it was misplaced, but maybe it fits to other people, so this will also be in the Black Book giveaway. Next is How to Live Free in a Dangerous World. So I never read this, but this was sent to me by a publisher, and this is another like coming of age, like a growing in love type of story. Those just don't really fit me. So I think when I read it, like the description in my email, it was kind of presented as like a traveler's book. She is a traveler, however, it's more about like life experiences throughout travel. It just really didn't hit home for me. I think I read the first page and I was like, no, I'm good. So I'll just stick to my psychological thrillers. But this one will also be a part of the giveaway. Last but not least, And Now She's Gone. This is a mystery. And like I said, I just don't like small books. Like it just doesn't fit on the shelf. But anyway, this is a mystery about a private investigator that is looking for a missing woman. She is reported missing by her boyfriend or ex-boyfriend, and he just wants to find the dog. But the private investigator goes through this long journey of trying to figure out what actually happens to the woman. And this one is interesting. It's just the format of the book is just not my favorite. Also, it's told in present and past tense. However, you don't know how the past tense story actually connects to the current tense. But this will also be in the giveaway on Instagram. So those are all of the books that I will be putting in free libraries or in my giveaways. Make sure you check it out over on Instagram, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.